The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Tastes just like candy.
Jimmy, you know if you can switch it. We're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ask for Candy, where a bunch of powerhouse women and men get together online to talk about love, sex, relationships, and what it takes to be amazing on the daily. Who I am Candace Harper, lovecoach.com, honey. I help hardworking women and couples who have survived abuse be vibrant, alive, magnetic, and passionate while creating healthy, intimate relationships. And we are here in the badass bachelor summer.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a bachelor boy summer.
It is. It's a bachelor boy summer. a badass. It's a badass bachelor boy summer. Right? And we're here at Gotham Podcast Studios in Midtown Manhattan. And so are you, just before we get started, a badass bachelor? Do you think you might be one? Pay attention till the end of the show and you'll find out what the criteria is, and maybe you can come in and sit with me in August. I have a wonderful guest who I'm going to introduce in a little bit tonight. I'm very excited about.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
We're going to be talking about going from player to partner.
Absolutely. What a transition.
Right? Hello, Kitty.
That changed my life.
Right? I can't wait to hear about the life changes. But first, happy Monday, everybody. You are listening probably with your TuneIn app on your smart device to Armed Radio, or you're listening in the garden on armedradioglobal.com. We're also on iHeartRadio, so don't forget to follow us and download your favorite shows. And, you know, all the people who love to stream, there's Spotify, there's Spreaker. We got options, baby. Also, there's some people who are live here on the Facebook. And you know, my live Facebook people, I see Brandon is here. Hold on, let me enlarge y'all so that I can be paying attention to who's coming in and who's trying to talk to me. You know, feel free to participate, to answer the questions, to talk to us.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're going to put on the show tonight.
I love that. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend, man. It's something different. You're not watching nothing anyway.
Right? It's Monday night.
This is real reality TV.
It's summer Monday night. We know there's nothing good on TV that's any better than this. That's for sure, right? So exactly. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Get in touch with us. Talk to us. Answer our questions. John is volunteered to be on the hot seat.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be interesting. Also, this is the time when we share. So share on your social media. I'm about to share to my group, the Ask for Candy podcast group, which I want you guys to join. And you can also join the Armed Radio group news group. You know, there's a ton of us podcasts on there. Those of you who, you know, are looking for jobs or single parents or whatever it is you're all about or looking to transform. There's a really great one called All You Can Eat, Rob Rosenthal, who talks about food. Oh. Right?
I was going to say, it's early. Let me drink some water.
All you can eat, honey.
That's my old way. So.
So there's that one. Check that one out on the Armed Radio group news group. And yeah, like I said, I'm Candace Harper, lovecoach.com. My talent is conversation. My passion is personal growth. And my purpose is to teach and inspire radical self-acceptance in myself and others so that we can all have our best possible love life. And that is why tonight this is a conversation. We're not here to hand down a bunch of dating or relationship rules or rights and wrongs. We're not here to shame your love situation. Our only intention is to create audacious intimacy, seductive singlehoods, and healthy relationships. So tonight and every Monday night, we're going to do what we do, which is have conversations that engage, educate, and or enlighten all of us in the areas of love, sex, relationships, and vibrating high.
Very well spoken.
Thank you. Right? It's good stuff.
It took some time to put that into that.
That's my regular Monday spiel. I kind of like, yeah.
I like it.
Do you?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to keep it. But let me now introduce my special guest, John Prince.
What's going on, family? Like I said, tell a friend. Fellas, we're going to get into something. You know, I'm in a relationship now, so I could give out all the secrets.
Yes. You're going to tell them all about going. But see, I feel like it's women, too, that go from player to partner.
Ooh.
So I feel like we could get really deep into that.
We never talk about that part.
Right?
Wow.
But I think it will apply. We'll get into it.
Absolutely.
But let me tell the people some things about you. So you were raised in Queens.
Queens, what's up?
Yeah. Grew up with the hopes of changing your community as well as becoming a radio personality.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love. And in 2010, you co-created a successful podcast called Battle of the Sexes Radio.
Yeah, they know about it. They
Yeah.
got some good times on there.
You did?
Absolutely.
And then you also co-created the popular singles event Dating Game.
Mm-hmm. The first game night. So listen. If you're on a Friday or Saturday night in New York City and you're playing Jenga, you're playing Connect Four, and you're playing Spades, I'm the Godfather. You know, so take from me. I started it in 2010 when people were in the clubs popping bottles. I said, let's play games. So a lot of people have branched off, done their own events and things like that. But I was the first one to say, instead of staying on the couch popping bottles, let's play spades.
Yeah.
So thank me, pay homage.
Right? And also, too, I feel like within the last couple of years, people started doing those big Connect Four games.
Yeah.
Right?
Matter of fact, they owe me a check for that.
Right?
I ordered into a bigger environment. You're right. I should have got a check for that.
You need to let them know.
Absolutely.
But I remember back then, you used to always send me an invite, and it always looked interesting for me to go, but I was usually embroiled in some sort of relationship.
I used to harass. This was old school. You just didn't just post. You actually hit up people personally.
Right.
You call people. You send out invites and things like that to get people involved. So yeah, I'm sure I probably harassed you. And,
it wasn't bad though, because here's the thing: it always looked like something I would totally love.
We had some great time.
Except I was always wasting my time with some fool I had no business being with.
And now we're here.
And now we're here. I could have been at Dating Game and meeting all kinds of really
you
nice.
Been married by now.
You never know, John. You just never know. So yeah, you did Dating Game, and then from your experience growing up in the inner city, you were inspired to create the leadership program Breaking the Cycle.
Absolutely.
For young boys between the ages of 12 to 17, which is fantastic. Tell us a little bit about Breaking the Cycle.
Breaking the Cycle, I grew up as a single mother. I'm in a fatherless household in the city, and a lot of the learning and the mistakes that we make as young men. I can tell people all the time, they assume that men know how to be men, but we really don't have an example. So a lot of things I had to learn on my own and figure it out. I just always want to mentor and give back. So that was one of the passion of mine, is to start an organization where we can surround these young men with some positive people. Mm-hmm. Some positive men that look like them, that's doing great things. And not even, just doing great things. I think a lot of the time we talk about mentorship. A lot of men shy away because they're like, oh, I don't got it together. I tell people all the time, I ain't got it.
Yeah.
I'm still in the jungle trying to figure out my way. Right. The only thing I know is that ain't the way, but I don't know. But so that's always been a passion of mine, and just giving back, and that's led me to work in. I work in education now, and I work in the city with. I don't know. God kind of just took me here. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
He asked for me. I love it.
I love that. And then you touched on something that I think is so important about mentorship, is part of it is just being an example of, first of all, if you got it all together, you might as well die, because you're always growing, right? But part of it is being an example of what's possible, right? Not being a perfect, I always tell other adults, especially because I'm also a mentor for young women, and I always tell other adults, don't think that you have to be some perfect person who's got, all your ducks in a row to mentor someone younger than you, right? It's like it's about just showing up as you are, doing what you do, and trying to being
vulnerable, just give whatever you can. I think a lot of us not to get off the topic, but a lot of us we got so many opinions about what we should do in the Black community, and when something happens and we should do this. But at the end of the day, on a day-to-day basis, you don't do anything. Yeah. And I hate to say it, but if you're not doing anything, your time, your resources, or your money to help your people, really don't have anything else but an Instagram or Facebook post. Right. You're really not involved. So that was me, get off the couch and do something.
I like it. It's good. It's good stuff. It's a good message. And then also, you said your broader commitment is political activism and community building. It's reflected in your current professional and personal engagements as an educator in the New York City public school system, honey.
Schools in East New York every single day.
Yeah. How is that? Because I've done I've taught after school programs and things like that, but I've never full time. Are you full time?
So what I do is I'm the program coordinator. So an organization called Tomorrow's Leaders NYC, and so we specialize and we work with overage middle school students. So a lot of our students are in 7th and 8th grade, but they're 14, 15, 16 old.
Yeah.
And we support them with not only academic support, but social, emotional, just a lot of these kids, because they're 2 years behind, they want to give up. So we figure we got to catch them right there. So I'm in a different school every day, primarily. Starting my work is East New York, all my schools are. And then I'm in the trenches every day, and like I said, we just try to give them some hope, some light, some good, and I love it.
Yeah.
Every day you never know.
You're doing God's work, honey. You're doing God's work.
That's what I say.
I think it's fabulous. I think it's fantastic. I see Miss Irene just joined us.
What's up, Irene? What's up, Irene?
And Dan is here, and Brandon. Hi, Brandon.
Brandon, I'm about to give you some jewels. Go get the pen and the paper. I'm about to give you some jewels.
Although I think both Brandon and Dan might be married already.
It's all right.
Sometimes,
So you can give me some jewels.
Right, we can all share the jewels. So, what do you want to say to the people? You just want to tell them hi? What do you want to say, John? Anything else you want to share about yourself?
I mean, we're going to get into the proceedings this evening, like
You're
I
ready
said.
to jump in.
Yeah, so you're going to find out more about me. I'm just, a man, like I said, that, seen a lot, done a lot.
Yeah.
And, still learning, still growing, but through my experiences, like I'm definitely not like guru.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get up here and say I'm a relationship coach or a relationship expert, but I got a lot of stories though. I got a lot of good stories.
You got good stories?
I got good stories. We can go anywhere. I've seen a lot in my young years.
Yeah.
But so I just want to have fun. I appreciate you for giving me the platform.
Yeah.
Step into this arena, and we're just gonna have fun. Like I said, like. No holds bar.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the table. I'm retired now, so I can get the secrets.
Yeah.
Before I couldn't get the secrets.
You can write the player handbook.
I really should. I should write a book. There's a lot of these gurus out here that's writing books, but they never had the experience.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call no names, but I'm just like, how you gonna give a book on dating and you wasn't even good at dating?
Right.
But that's a whole different.
That's a whole different. No, it's a good point though. But here's the thing. So full disclosure. So I met you, John. I think it was what I want to say. It has to be going on at least 6-7 years ago.
Probably.
Something like that. And in the growth conversation, right? Which was cool. And here's the thing. I was so excited when I did reach out to you about this. And you said that you wanted to talk about, having this transformation from player to partner. And also, I will tell you what my impression was of you in the beginning, if I can be candid. Because back then, maybe it was 6 or 7 years ago, I think it was when I met you, you were what I would call the holy grail guy.
What you mean by that?
There are certain guys that I, like on the trajectory of my dating life, my adult dating life, that I would meet, and I could tell which ones were the ones who really wanted to be a boyfriend, who wanted to, and that's how I interpreted you. So when you told me that you've been like a player for these last few years, I was surprised.
That means I was doing good in my time.
Right? Apparently you had me sewed, because I was like, and I so wasn't of that mindset. Like when I met you, I felt like you were, I had been meeting a lot of guys. The universe was just bringing these guys who were like wife shopping. And I feel like I can tell when somebody's wife shopping. But I think with you, apparently you were living the player life.
I was, but maybe subconsciously my energy was saying I needed one.
Yeah.
I just had a 10. That's what it was saying subconsciously.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate that. Though.
Yeah, no, totally. You seemed like a total relationship kind of guy.
I think, as a man, I always knew the benefits and always seen it, but I if it wasn't reality and it wasn't there, I wasn't going to push or pursue it.
Yeah.
So, I was always like, listen, I'm going to have fun in the meantime, and when something else comes, then, serious.
Well, so now that's interesting that you say that, because I feel like that's one of the topics that always comes up, the whole thing about pushing, pursuing, trying, chasing, all of that stuff. So tell us a little bit about your transformation from like dating a lot of women and what that looked like compared to actually settling down and getting serious. Was it that she just like took the reins and was like, you my man?
Nah, like a lot of people, ask that. So I'm different than most guys in the sense that the reason why I stopped wasn't because, I'm tired of these women. Like, I'm tired of spending money. I'm tired of these women ain't not. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I like to say, I was like Kobe. I left the game on top. And I think that's how, I didn't leave the game like, this is boring, this is whack, no girls like me, I might as well find a wife. Like, I left the game and I still could get it.
Yeah.
I think as a man, for most men, you have to figure it out for yourself, and you got to see something bigger.
Yeah.
So I won't even lie and say that, you know, sometimes the single life is still not attractive to me. I think it's just that, you know, I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So I would say there's no particular. I met a great woman. Like that wasn't, like I said, that was never my story. Oh, there's no girl. I met a lot of great women.
Yeah, yeah.
I could have been married at, you know, 21 if I wanted to, but my mindset wasn't on that.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of men, and especially men that have, you know, options, I think, you know, it's about their mindset. It's nothing a woman could do in the world.
Yeah.
But if he's not ready to settle down, he's not ready to settle down.
See, I agree with that, but I think what happens a lot of times is that, you know, women, we know we can be very persuasive and powerful, but I think what a woman can do, and why a lot of times relationships don't work out, is that women can be in the space of like forcing, cajoling, and making something happen, and then you end up with a guy who cheats, or halfway in, halfway out, or doesn't, you know, make the moves to get committed. Is, you know, you got to drag them along for the whole relationship, because there are some men out there who are just kind of like either on the fence about what they want to do, or they're just, you know,
they got one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, because they're not really, you know. And I do think, and this is going to sound like I'm being sexist, but I do think that just generally speaking, the different ways that women and men approach relationships, that in order to have a healthy relationship with a man, he has to have chosen you. Like, he has to look at you like, this is my woman.
Absolutely. I think he has to, especially, like I said, when you're dealing with men that don't have options, or, you know, because, you know, there's two, let's get into it. There's two types of men out there.
Uh-oh.
And this is the problem I have. A lot of times when we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and we're having debates about different topics and relationships, when you're getting the point of view of the man that's in your inbox all day, the man that's pursuing you, the man that will just, oh my gosh, she's a halfway cute girl, I would just love to have her. Yeah. But let's be real. What I always say, like 25% of the men are sleeping with 75% of the women. Let me say it again. 25% of the men, and it's going to take a second, are sleeping with 75%. There's a small cluster of desirable men, and women need to start learning how they think. It doesn't matter what the 75% of the other guy, oh, I'll pay all your bills, I'll take you out, I'll treat you like a queen, because those aren't the guy. Y'all used to dealing with the fuckboys. Y'all need to understand how the fuckboy thinks. Anything's different, like I said. He wants to feel like he pursued you. Not even pursued, he wants to feel like you're a catch.
Yeah.
You know, he wants to feel like my woman is special. She's different. There's something about her that made me say, all right.
Like she's a trophy I want.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be looks, you know, but it's just something that separates her from most of the other women that I date. It could be how she treats you. Like, it could be looks. It could be, you know, her career. Just, you know, whatever it is. But most men in those positions want to feel proud.
Yeah.
You know, they want to.
Men in which positions?
Position is a power. When I say positions of power, meaning like they have multiple options. Dating is easy to.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the guys that have. Let's be real. That's why you have so many men. Oh, I found out he was cheating, or I found out he had another girlfriend. I found out he had a wife. Because again, it's this 25% of men that all, I'm not gonna say all women, but apparently women like. But we can't negate that. So the question is, why out of all these men? Let's be real. This is the nice guy. This guy's that treat you good. Why are women so attracted to that small nucleus of men? Because there's a reason why he got 3 or 4 girls. I can
tell you exactly why.
Go ahead.
Why? So, you know, and they always say, like, the nice guy finishes last, things like that. Here's why a majority of women, until they've gone through some sort of growth, transformation, or self-loving, you know, baptism. And here's why. Most of us are out here, and it doesn't matter what culture, what color, or anything like that. And then we were talking about it earlier, in this culture of I need to be enough for love. So if I meet somebody who makes me work for it, they are speaking to what I'm comfortable with, which is being good enough for love. So whether it's that I have to overfunction and do things for you in order for you to like me, or I have to sit around and wonder if you're going to call me, or if I have to behave in a way that I think you'll think is attractive. And it's so insidious that I think even very intelligent, educated, like well put together women find themselves in this trap, you know, or at least some point in their lives, especially if they didn't have a father who understood how to, you know, the way to parent a child. And here's the thing, parents, I'm not biologically a parent, so I'm not telling you I'm not trying to shame whatever you're doing, but fathers, just like mothers, fathers need to give their daughters a sense of, I love you just because you are, not because you get good grades, not because you're pretty enough, not because you did this or that right. Like, you just deserve love because you exist.
Absolutely.
And I don't think for both men and women that a lot of us understand that. And the way that it shows up in women is that we're comfortable with the struggle. And as much as we bitch about it to our friends, as much as we will, call men all kinds of names and things like that, and we want to fight with a man who isn't doing what we want, we're comfortable with that.
And I also think those are good points. I also think sometimes women just want the guy that other women want. And you could look at that on every level. Because
there's a competition. So now I got to be good enough in that respect too.
So I think sometimes women, they're just like, so if you're in high school, it could be the captain of the football team. All the girls know he got a lot of girls, but they want him. You go to college, he could be the guy in the frat. They know all the frat guys got all the girls, they like them. It could be in the hood. The dope boy, that's getting the money, he got a bunch of girls, but for some reason, you still want him.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's that struggle. It's the comfort of the struggle. That's
I think every level, women just like the competition. They like having a guy that, a lot of other women want.
Although when we learn how to actually love and accept ourselves, and I don't just mean that sort of like fake chic charade, like narcissistic, I love myself. I don't mean that. I mean like really true love, self-acceptance, like I'm whole, perfect, and complete. That bad boy thing gets so uninteresting. Yeah,
but I don't
or even the competition thing gets so uninteresting. Like you don't need to compete with other women. If a guy is not there for you, then there's no interest in that.
But I don't like to call it a bad boy because I think we get into these labels. Oh, this is a nice guy and this bad boy. But I don't think it's that. I think just women are attracted to alpha male. They're attracted to men. Women that really like men.
Manly men.
And that don't mean you got to be tough or you got to shoot somebody. No. Women like a man that says no. Yeah. Like, I'm very good at saying no.
You're the second guest who said that.
Women like...
The saying of no is very...
that was one of the things when I was dating. Like, I wasn't scared to... I'm not going to say lose you, but I wasn't scared to say my feelings. Like, if we're going on a date and I pull up to your house and you got me outside waiting 30 minutes, I'm not going to let you get in the car and act like everything. And this is the first time I'm going to say, listen, if you don't respect my time or your time, then we probably won't be meshing well. So please don't let this happen again.
Have you ever done that on a date?
Absolutely. Yeah. And you'd be surprised. At first they're like shocking the nigga, but then after a minute they're like clutching your purse. I kind of like you put me in my... Women like to be put in their place. And that's the difference between alpha male and a beta male. And the difference is that alpha male is going to speak his mind. Like I said, it's not about being a thug or anything, but the beta male, he would just give a call. Well, he gonna act like nothing happened. But in the mind, I can't believe. No, I'm gonna say something. Listen, you got 5 minutes, I'm gonna leave.
But what you're touching on, I feel like that really works both ways, and very few people do that, because that's just really being authentic about what's going on with you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I feel like women do that a lot, too, where it's like, a man will do something that doesn't work for them, and, either will pretend like it's okay, and then be mad about something else, or it'll come out some other way, or, be passive-aggressive about it, or whatever. I mean, I think that just speaks to that we all need to... and it is very sexy when someone authentically tells you how they feel.
Absolutely. And I think women feel the vibration of a man that is not needy. I think that is a magnet. It's like he's not needy. He doesn't need me. He might like me. He might be attracted to me. But this guy is not going to like...
Want over need is very sexy.
Absolutely. He's like, I like you. I'm going to show you I like you. But listen, like, this isn't the end of the world. And women can feel that energy.
Diana wants to know...
What's up?
What is happening with the other 75% of men? Because you said that 75% of the women are sleeping with 25% of the men. She's like, what's happening with the other 75%?
All right, so I'm going to keep it real. And I'm going to speak because I like to speak on our culture. So I'm going to speak on the black culture and black men. So, just from a number standpoint, we got a lot of gay men, black men now, that live a different lifestyle. So, they're not in the running. We're talking about the real gay, not the down low brothers. We're talking about but so the gay men, so you take them out, then unfortunately you got a lot of my brothers that's, incarcerated or dealing with the criminal justice system and things like that. So you take out them, and then you got another percentage of men who are just not desirable. Whether that be because women don't find them attractive, they're not fun, they don't have personality, and stuff like
issues
that.
They haven't dealt with.
They have an issue, or whatever. They're just not desirable.
Yeah.
So it's just like, unfortunately, in our community, you go to any major city. You know, I used to live in Atlanta. I live in New York now. You go to DC, you go to LA, and if you're a handsome, successful black man that's single, you got 20 to 1 odds.
Yeah.
You know, you literally, have your pick of the litter.
Yeah.
And, and that's what I tell, we can talk about the later, but I tell women, like, as much as women want to have the perspective of, if I meet my king, he's going to sweep me off my feet. No, like in 2019, if you meet a handsome, successful, single man without baggage, drama issues, whatever, you better go. You better do that. You better put all that pride to the side. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, in 40 years, if y'all happily married, nobody going to care that the first date y'all went or whatever was you saying, hey, you free Friday, you want to go get some drinks?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot.
Whether she made the first move or
or initiated. I feel like a lot of women feel like initiating a date is like getting on your knee and proposing to God. Like, it's like, oh my God, I could never. Like, what's wrong with you? What you doing on Friday? All right, boom, let's meet up here. I know this is a cool little spot. Let's grab a drink.
Yeah.
Boom. But no, I want a guy, if he really like me, he'd be like, all right, well, you go get a cat. And,
you go get a cat.
You go get a cat, because you don't have to play the game right.
Now, here's the thing about all of this, because I think, realistically and scientifically speaking, if we're just playing about it, we took a census. I think that your statistics are probably pretty close and pretty dead on. Obviously, they talk about all the time that there's way more available single women, viable available single women than single men. And with that said, I'm also a big believer in, law of attraction in the universe and what we manifest in our lives and what we can attract, right? And also being able to attract from, and this is why I'm doing this whole summer theme of Badass Bachelors, because I think a lot of times, we want to attract and manifest something in our lives, but we have a lack mentality based on the hard reality facts. And when I say reality, I'm not saying that, what is so is not so, but when we focus on what is so, and we get into that reality story, it's going to put us in a place of like, oh, why do I even bother? There's nobody out there that's worthy or worth it anyway, or I'm going to have to compete with a lot of different women. But I think it's important, it's really important, especially as a single woman, to not go into shortage mentality. Like if we buy into, and this is not to say that there's not truth to it in reality, but if we buy into it in our dating life that, why even bother because there's so few out there, then it's like we're sabotaging our possibilities.
I agree with you. I don't think you should have a negative mindset when it comes, but you have to first and foremost realize that it is a competition. And,
I hate that, John.
Exactly, and that's why so many. Let's be real. That's why so many women are single because men understand because the way we are raised as boys with a competitive nature. If I meet a pretty successful, cool woman, I know there are other guys that are out there either pursuing her in her life or crazy ex. Yeah. I know that, So men approach it like I got to do what I got to do to, to separate myself. For some reason, women hate the word competition and look at it as a negative word.
Well, a lot of women fall into it unconsciously. Like
you absolutely have to compete. You absolutely, you should want to win. But it's funny because women will go out there, you'll compete for the best jobs, the best schools, the best daycares for your school, but you don't want to compete for the partner that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. That's the one thing in life that you think you should just lay down and it's just going to fall, right? Nah, anything in life, you got to go.
Or at least not necessarily lay down, but at least, be in a space of like feeling good where you're at and open to what's possible, like going places, meeting people and things like that. But here's the thing, and I don't know, I try not to assign things to astrology or anything like that, but I have certain traits about me. First of all, I don't consider myself in competition with other women. Like I hate that idea. Like I feel like there's enough for everybody to go around.
But it's good to feel
but also, if I'm in a situation, let's say a social situation, and there's a guy, and let's say there's another woman he's attracted to. As a matter of fact, even in casting this podcast, there's somebody that I was attracted to, and I was like, oh, he'd be great for the podcast. Thought he was out of a relationship or that it was over. It turns out it wasn't over, and instantly it puts me off because I'm not going to, I'm not going to first of all do to another woman what I wouldn't want done to me.
Absolutely,
if she's already dating, or even if it's casual or whatever. And second of all, I feel like that idea that we are, in a race for a person is very counterintuitive to having health in your relationship. Like if I have to, as a woman, fight for my man.
Well, I don't think it's fighting for your man. I think it's more about put yourself in a position to win.
Yeah.
You know, when women aren't putting themselves in a position,
more positive.
Yeah, to win. You gotta want to win. So this is my advice that I could give. This is for women and men. So get your pens and pencils together. I'm gonna tell you the best way, other than being assertive and initiating and all that. This is the best thing you can do, and this goes back to law of attraction, manifesting what you want. Mm-hmm. It's simple, but yet it's so neat. Be the best you can.
Yes.
And what does that mean? It's so many people out here that are desiring things that they are not, or looking things for they're not. You're not the best self you could be, and you wonder why you're attracting a certain type of thing. Because like you said, like attracts like, right? So what I mean by that, and I would like to put things in a practical sense. For all the, no, what does that mean on a day-to-day practical basis? That means like mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, put yourself in a position. Let me put it another way. If you are eating right and eating healthy and working out every day, right? Forget about the results. If you are getting your money right, saving yourself right. If you're going to therapy, doing yoga, meditation, going to church, getting your mind right and your spirituality right, you are going to attract like-minded people.
Yeah.
And let me take it a step deeper out of the clouds. That's, manifesting all that. If you go to the gym, you might actually meet somebody in the gym.
Yeah.
If you go to church, or you go to yoga, you go to meditation, you might meet somebody in your meditation. If your money right, you might be at a certain establishment or restaurant or a certain demographic of people that's going to attract the like-minded people. So these things are not just, spiritually inclined and all that. They are real life. You got to put yourself in a position with the type of people that there's a certain type of guy that wants to get married.
But wait a second, because I 100% agree with you. But I think where the spirituality part comes in is that if you're doing those things because you're attached to finding that person, you're not necessarily.
You're right. They have to be natural.
Yeah, and it really does have to be. The focus is on my relationship with myself.
Yeah,
right.
I
think 100% you're right.
You have to absolutely want to be the best that you could be.
Yeah.
And I think those things just happen naturally, and you're going to start getting to a certain level where you're going to start. Meeting like-minded people. It's just a different. It's just a different environment. You just go from different environments, and then those are where those people, lie, and it's going to attract it. You're confident. We all know we could go to the gym. One time, we leave the gym for that whole hour after the gym. We feeling fit. That energy, we're
pumped.
Yeah, we feeling. We're in the line at Chipotle after that eating stuff we shouldn't, but we feeling a little bit more diesel like that. You think people can't feel that?
Yeah.
You went to the gym one time in 6 months, but you walking around feeling like, man, like
I'm powerful today.
So do you know how it is when you go out one night and you got some money in your bank account, you ain't got to worry about what you spend. You can buy your energy. Then you're like, get her a drink.
It's a different energy.
Get her ladies, y'all drinking? What y'all drinking? You know what I'm saying? All right, lady, you don't even worry. You have a good night. You don't even try to. Your energy is different as a man when your money right.
Yeah.
You think people can't feel that? Yeah. So you're gonna try. Oh, look, he confident. Girl, he just bought us some drinks and walked away. Because he ain't worried about it.
He's got it together.
When you got $20 in your checking account, you're like, listen, if I buy you this drink, you come with me for the night.
Yeah.
It's a difference. So I would say that.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think we're kind of saying the same thing, though, because the airy-fairy spiritual side of that is just basically an avenue into understanding that when you're not attached and you're taking care of yourself in that way, that's who you end up being without trying.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I want to do the question.
I know. We're like, the time goes so fast.
I could talk.
Right? I love it. We want to get into questions. Let me just say hi to Jillian and Denise and Joe.
Denise.
Right? Joe Pryor is here. And Kenya. Hi, my Kenya. Mary Beth, Joe Brown. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? What's up? We live tonight.
You ready?
I want to get some questions.
You get some questions in?
I want to get some questions. The fun part.
First question. What are you passionate about? What are you most passionate about?
My community of Black people.
I love it.
Easy money. That's easy.
That's good.
That's my purpose. I got whatever I could do to make my people and my community better as a whole before I leave this earth. I don't know why I've been chosen, but
love it. So then this ties right in. What's your purpose?
My purpose, I think, is to achieve the highest platform or the highest level of influence or resources where I can affect change in my community. My job is to complete my mission. My mission is to get to a point and make myself the best man I could be. That's part of not being a thought no more and settling down with one woman is because there's only a certain level go to being a thought and chasing women. It every day. Guys getting caught up on allegations, Me Too, sexist, having baby mamas, and all. We see almost every great man in history has fallen but because of mistakes with women. And I won't be one of them.
Yeah, no, I love that.
You know?
Did you have like sort of an aha moment where you're like, okay, if I'm really going to align with who I say I'm trying to be here, I'm going to have to get more centered when it comes to my dating? Was it something
I don't think it was one particular moment. I think I just completed every level. Honestly, like
that.
Like I'm not gonna even sit here and lie. Like I was just like, nah. Like since I was 15 years old, I was women, and I've seen a lot and I've done a lot, and it got to a point where I was just like, all right, so you on this endless pursuit of vagina? Like, how much can you get? Like,
that's the title of a book.
Like endless pursuit.
Endless
Don't
pursuit
take that.
of
Don't
vagina.
take that. You're right. The endless pursuit of vagina, and that was it. And then you realize as a man, like you're always gonna find a cute girl. You're always gonna want more. You're always, and then every level. So let's say now you get money. Now there's different level of women, and then you get a little bit more money. You get a little bit more fame. So it's just like really never ending. And so you just got to realize that it's not about you, and it's something more. If you want to stay at that level, by all means, you could stay there. But I study the greats. I study men like Obama or Martin Luther King or Malcolm X or people that I look up to and the Jay-Z's. And I say, they all had a great woman in life.
Yeah,
it's almost like there's certain, like when you get to a certain level. You can't even, if you go into a certain, I'll just call it white corporate level. If you come in there and you say you don't have a wife or you're not married, they look at you funny.
Yeah.
You go to polo matches.
Like, what's your life about?
Yeah, like, unless you owe money, like you have to, like, they just know why you don't got a wife.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, and there's certain places when you walk in and you say you got a girl, you got a wife, that especially as a black man, you look cleaner.
Yeah.
And, me and my girl, sometimes clubs, I could go in there with shorts.
There's no respect.
Yeah, because they're like, you got a lady with you? It's different than when you come in the door with your 5 dudes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like a metaphor.
Yeah.
You want to go to the spot with your 5 dudes and try to get in, or you want to go with your lady looking good.
Yeah.
And they're going to let me in the Grammys.
Yeah. The Met Gala.
Yeah, I'm going to the Met Gala. You can't go with the homies from the block to the Met Gala.
Right. No, it's true. Diana says, does a woman trigger a man to change from player to partner, or is it a man that has to come to the decision on his own that he is ready?
It's all about the man.
Yeah,
you could never change a man. I had great women in my life, and I just wasn't ready. But it has to be a conscious decision. Every man has to make, because it takes discipline, it takes patience, it takes drive. Imagine a woman. I know y'all get it, but it's different for a man. Imagine you get in a position, you got a woman, and you're around beautiful women all day. Like, there's nothing my girl could do to stop me from pursuing or engaging it. It has to be about me seeing something bigger.
Yeah.
So I think as a woman, you just have judgment. That's what I'm saying. The biggest thing is like, just believe a man up until what he shows you. You can never, a man could do you dirty, all that, but as long as he's treating you the way and doing the right things, then go with it until it's not right. And never be afraid to give. Again, it's not your fault if it messes up.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. You can't play the game scared.
No, I agree. I totally agree. And I think, too, and I love that Diana brought this up, because I think, we talk a lot about, like, women, try to change men. But I think a lot of times people, they think that what's going on externally is going to be the thing that makes them happy. So I think that's why we try to change people in the first place, right? You're absolutely right. I think no one will change whether it's addiction or, having sex with a whole lot of people, whatever it is, no one wants to change anything until they make the decision to change it. They tell you. Yeah.
If I would have met my girl 5 years ago, it'd been a wrap.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even, appreciate it.
Because you were in a completely different mindset.
It was a different mindset.
Yeah.
I think, especially as a man, like, I think, for men, it's like, do you want more? And I would say that to the fellas, just talking to fellas that, struggle with it, because we all do. You want a bunch of girls. You want, pretty girls. You want different women. But if you really want to get it, like, now, if you really want to get on a level where you and your girl is buying houses and you're investing in property.
Yeah, it's like building an empire.
It's like, if you want empire, it is a must. It is almost a 99% fact. You gonna need a queen.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized. I ain't gonna lie, this ain't no deep, like, spiritual. No, I watch life and say, damn, if I gotta get to $1 billion, I'm probably gonna need a wife.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So let me try to figure this out.
But I love that you said queen, somebody who actually understands that
Absolutely.
too, because there's a lot of people out there that don't understand what it takes to build something, or what it means to actually want financial freedom, or what it means to, want things for, a legacy for your family. I've been with a couple people who didn't understand what that meant.
But I want to, I want to be real too. I mean, that all sounds, nice and fairy tales. But fellas, if that's not your story, don't let nobody force you to make that a story. Everybody doesn't need that. Everybody doesn't want. There was a point in my life where I didn't want a girlfriend. I didn't want to be tied down. I didn't want commitment. And I would say that to the fellas and women alike. Was every man, you're not meant to be married. You don't need to. As long as you're real with these women and you're free, be free. I'm gonna be honest. Unless you really want to build some dynasties type stuff, then go ahead and just have fun forever.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, because if you do want to do those things, you need your partner.
But not every guy wants to. If you just want to have fun and live life.
And I'm not saying everybody has to want it. What I'm saying is that when you make that decision that you want it, you want to pick somebody who understands that and wants it too, because that's when you get into the situation where you're trying to get that person to come along.
Absolutely. You can't afford
it. Like if they don't want it, they don't want it. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So who would someone have to be as well? We already kind of covered that in that last conversation. Who do you admire most in your personal
life? That's deep. Do I have to know them, or could it be in my personal life?
In your personal life, yeah. So that should be somebody that you have like some sort of connection to.
I mean, I got a great, strong core of best friends that we've all been friends since elementary school. Yeah. So I think I admire, all of them. There's like 5 of us, 6 of us, and I admire all of them for different reasons. But like I said, I didn't really grow up with a role model. I'll be honest. I didn't grow up with a father. My mother worked, as hard as she could. My grandmother, they raised me, but I had to figure a lot of stuff, out on my own. So I can't say there was one like role model and mentor that I had growing up. I figured out a lot of. That's why I made so many mistakes. I was just playing the game on the run. You know?
Okay, so what accomplishment are you most proud of?
I left my mom's house at 19. I ain't been back.
Wow. Okay.
Simply put, blood, sweat, and tears, lights on, lights off, eviction notices, no job, half a job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Like,
made it work.
I left my mom's house at 19, and I ain't been back. And I made it as a man on my own. And like I said, with no help, and just figuring my way out. That's my greatest accomplishment. I hustled my way through this thing. I would say that.
Are you still close with your mom?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. My mom, she lives in the state, but talk all the time, and she's my biggest fan and supporter. And I think gaining her respect, beating her. I got a lot of pride.
Like not hanging on to the reliance for too long.
Yeah. I think that's my biggest. Being a man.
Yeah.
Becoming a man.
Yeah. No, I get it. Okay. So what is something that you always do when you're alone?
Oh, man. Besides just think a lot, I like to drink wine and smoke cigars. That's my old man.
You do that when you're by yourself? It's like an old man sitting.
Yeah, that's like I like to do that like on Friday nights, or when I'm not. I just sit in my house, and it's funny. I like just listen to like interviews or podcasts. I'm not a big TV person. Give me some wine, nice cigar. It came a long way from the tequila shots.
Yeah.
So I like
that's the player.
Yeah. If you ask me what you want to do, or some champagne, or buy my house, sit in my house on the porch on a nice, summer day, sip some wine, cigar, just chill out.
I like that. That's nice. Yeah. That sounds good. I feel like it. That's one of those kind of self-care kind of things. Where
Absolutely.
It's like, something that relaxes you and that lets you feel like you're just present in the moment.
Absolutely.
What is your most desired future vision?
Most desired. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I guess some way me being there on a broad platform, like I said, for my people. I don't even know in what aspect.
Do you ever think about possibly running for office? Getting involved in politics.
You know, it's funny, people would say that,
Yeah.
but and this is why I probably would end up running for office there. I hate politics and I think it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know how to bullshit.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like, but then I'm like, yo, I got so many, I'm going to be real with you, as crazy as it sounds, Donald Trump changed my perspective on politics, because before that, you know, you think you had to be squeaky clean, you had to go to this college, you had to do this, you couldn't have no record, you had this, you had to have what, and then he just changed the game. Like,
He did change the game.
Like, yo, you could be anything.
Right.
Like, and I hate to say that, but it's like,
Yeah, you
nobody's
definitely don't have to be squeaky clean.
yeah. So I'm like, damn, like, you know, before that I was thinking, nah, they gonna get my third grade teacher and they gonna say this over. But now I'm like, but as far as I still think.
Well, here's the thing, though. In as much as I'm not a Trump supporter, what I will say is that he didn't necessarily bring the corruption, because I feel like the corruption's been you know, since long before any of us existed. However, what he did is he like opened up this can of like letting it be okay, where there's this whole contingent of people who are just like, all right, well, I'm cool with all those things that he does, and who cares if he doesn't know that.
And being a lie, like I said, he changed the game of lying. It's like lie and deny, like you just lie, like people would know. Really, people could know you lying, and if you just keep denying, people get over.
Believe you, right?
Like, no, that wasn't. I didn't say that. I didn't say. We saw you said that. I didn't say that. And then after like a couple of days, people were like, well, maybe he
didn't say it.
Who cares? Like, you know,
gaslighting.
Yeah, so I couldn't see myself running in politics, but you know, we never know.
We'll
see.
Okay, so speaking of corruption, what's something you feel a little bit guilty about?
When it comes to dating ones, I'm not gonna lie. As a man, I didn't realize how many women I may have hurt, because I was never like one of those guys that were like a lot of girls, and I wasn't, you know, player meaning like G. And my G was more like just being honest, but you know, like there was a point where I always felt like as long as I'm telling them, like, listen, I don't want a relationship, I'm looking for something serious, that my hands was clean. And then I didn't realize a lot of women were holding on to hold, and I thought they were cool with it, you know, and because I'm like, you around, I kept it real with you. So I think in that aspect, you know, there's even women I dated, and then like years later I spoke to them, and it was like, oh, you know, you kind of hurt me. I'm like, how'd I hurt you? Like, you knew what was up. And that's when I realized as a man, sometimes, even when we're honest with women, we gotta let it go. Because we think like, as long as you know the deal, there's nothing that, you know.
Like everybody's got to act in alignment with what they say, right? So if I say I don't want any serious relationship, and I'm dealing with you, and you do want to see, and we're all responsible for our own feelings, right? But if you're, especially with men and women, if a man is like, I don't want a serious relationship, I'm just, you know, fucking around or whatever, and then the woman is like, in her mind, she wants a serious relationship, or she's shared that she actually does want a serious relationship, both are breaking their word if they keep going on with the relationship. Absolutely. Like, we want two different things, but we're both, you know, out of integrity, and so people end up getting hurt.
I didn't know. So that's what I was saying. I'm kind of, you know.
Do you?
But I always had a clean heart.
Yeah, and I also think there's something to be said for intention. You know, we could have the best of, you know, be honest and be as forward as you can, and sometimes we don't always stand in it like we should.
If we were in a perfect world.
Yeah. Fern says, hey, Fern.
What's up?
Yeah, hi, honey. What's something that very few people know about you?
There's a lot of stuff I didn't get in my split.
But give us something. Give us something juicy.
I don't know.
You don't usually tell.
I don't know if it's something juicy, but like I've never really. Alright, I'll be real. I've never been in a relationship over a year, and a lot of, like I said, I've never been. You know, I've dated a lot of women. I haven't thought about like holes in a living. And that's something I told a girl that one time, and she said, and I only been in like 2.
Yeah.
And so this girl stopped talking, and she said it was a red flag.
Really?
I remember. She said it was a red flag. So I think my lack of commitment would surprise people.
Yeah.
So I'm in my 30s, so I'd be like, wow, like. You know, it's so much of life that I see so many people with my peers go through. Like, I've had friends, they've been with their girlfriends a while, it's 10 years, and they got kids and all that. I'm like, I can't even imagine.
Like I'm so not there.
Yeah, like sharing, like basic stuff that people like share in a household with somebody, or finances or family stuff. Like, you know, that a lot of people my age is just natural to them. I haven't experienced yet, so I'm not gonna say scared, but you know, going ring shop.
Really?
Yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think that's like such a strange anomaly these days.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially, you know, with this current generation, like 30s and younger, I don't think that's such a strange thing anymore. You know, and I feel like with I'm in my 40s, good into my 40s, and I feel like with my generation, you know, people, we're the sort of the last of that kind of like, you know, got married in their 20s, and I was in like a 13-year relationship from 19 to 32, and we did the whole ring shopping thing, and you know, we didn't end up getting married, thankfully. I mean, he's a great person, don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't have been the right road. Yeah, it wouldn't have been the right road for us. But I feel like the reason we didn't end up getting married is because we weren't really compatible to do so, but we felt pressure, and that's why we stayed together so long, because we're still part of the generation that's like, you get married, you go to college, you get married, and you know, do all the traditional things. But I don't think it's so unusual. I don't think that's such an anomaly. If it makes you feel any better, being in your 30s and not having done that.
My lack of commitment, I feel better.
You feel good. You should. You should. Plus, I feel like culturally, we're in a transition, redefining what relationship and marriage really means. Because I think the definition, whatever it may be, is not working. That's why so many people are getting divorced, you know, who are of, you know, more advanced age. And there's so many of us, you know, in my age bracket that are single, because that it doesn't work to try to fit up to some standard rather than define your own thing.
Absolutely.
You know, and in that transition, there's going to be a lot of people who are like out there trying to figure it out.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I think it's beautiful. Life is exploration. Kai says, it's Kayla Allen. Hi, honey. She says, I wish I could have joined this conversation in person. I wish you could have too. I invite y'all, and then you hear a conversation you want to be in, and you're like, oh, I should have been there. Girl, you know you're always invited. We
got more time. We gonna do it. We could do it again. Like, we could bring, you know what we should do? We should bring us some girls and some guys. How many mics they got here?
We could do like 4 or 5. I think we can do up to 4 people. Like,
let's bring a couple ladies, a couple guys, and let's have a little battle of sexes. Right? Let's ask some questions. Let's debate and let's argue and have some fun and laugh.
That would be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll do something. We'll definitely plan that. But after that, and maybe even during this, maybe it'll be our summer show, our end of summer show. Yeah. So we only have a few minutes for the Armed Radio people. So I want you to be able to tell them, John, where you want them to find you. If you want anybody to follow you on social media or anything like that.
I don't want y'all to. Let me see. Nah, like, I'm a simple guy. I'm not really busy to the social media anymore. But you can follow me, J Prince NYC on Instagram. That's the letter J Prince NYC on Instagram. And check out my organizations. Yes. Tomorrow's Leaders NYC. Tomorrow's Leaders NYC. And Google that, see some dope things we're going out, so you could, you know, help, whether you got some time, some energy, some resources, a couple dollars, whatever. We really in the trenches trying to help people, and just keep living. I just want to say, everybody, you know, we're never gonna figure this whole thing out. We're all out here grinding, trying to be the best selves, the best of ourselves that we could be, and just have fun, man. Yeah. Don't take the fun out of life. I think that's the difference between me. Like, even in the rough times, like, even when the lights is off, I'm like, I'm gonna figure out how to get them more. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. Yeah, I'm gonna make it happen.
And find a fun way to do it.
Have a fun way. Like, true story, I done had girls lay in my bed with me. The truth is, my 20s. With a North Face on because the heat was on. But that, fellas, that's where you know it's real. When she in the bed with a bubble jacket on, like, I'm not leaving my baby, you know it's real.
You know she likes you a lot.
You know she likes you.
What's up, Stephen, who just came? So I just want to make sure to sign off for the Armed Radio people. Armed Radio people. And also, we'll put the link, tomorrow's leaders, in the comments. Yeah. So we got 1 minute with the Armed Radio people. So I always, you know, want to tell you guys about my 12 Women 12 Week Intensive that's coming up. Get right with your mom for the sake of your love life. If you've been surviving a painful, abusive mother-daughter relationship, you want to move the past out of the way, throw out the emotional baggage, become vibrant, alive, magnetic, and passionate while creating a love life that lights you up. You definitely want to do this. You can go to my business page, Candace Harper Love Coach, and I'll put a link in the comments on Facebook Live if you come on Facebook, or come to Ask for Candy podcast group, Armed Radio. And also, Armed Radio, until next time, never forget that you are a love machine. If you ever start to feel like you aren't getting enough, just make more and ask for candy. And for those of you who are on the Facebook Live, thank you so much for being with us, being here. enjoying engaging with us, right?
Thank you.
Asking us questions. As you know, this summer's theme is it's the Badass Bachelor Summer. So here's the criteria. Let's see, single, over 35, living into your purpose, joyful, and love to talk about it. You might be perfect. Single, over 35, living into your purpose. I feel like that's pretty easy criteria.
Nah, they're not living in their purpose.
You don't think?